Welcome, friends. And this episode of the Grieving Nurse podcast, we're just going to talk about the emotions and how they can kind of sneak up on you. And especially when you don't really know what to say when you run into somebody else who has lost a loved one. So, this past, I don't know, 3 weeks has been kind of weird. We celebrated Easter and then we're in this joyous season. And I just have been kind of, wah, like, wah, wah, wah. So it's been helping because the sun has been out. It's been really nice here. So I've been able to get outside. So that has been really good. Like that does help me a lot. And I do feel energized. Even if I get outside for 5 minutes to just sit on the deck, it just refreshes me. And so there's been that. There's also been a lot of recent trials in my marriage, a lot of hurt coming up again. There's been a lot of things that we've had to talk and discuss through things. And anytime that my husband and I are not in a good place, I tend to fall back into really intense, acute grief from missing my parents. Because what happens for me is the death of my parents was so close to the financial infidelity in my marriage, like all of that coming out, that they're tied together in my brain. And so this isn't necessarily a bad thing, it's just the way that it happened. And so for me, it has been really to find little ways that, for one, I can like love myself, fill my cup up when my husband and I are not fighting. Because what I tend to do is I tend to, when things are good, I stop exercising, I stop eating great. And I know some people are the exact opposite. Like when things are good, like they're good with their routine then again. But I tend to just be like, oh, everything's great. Like I don't need to worry about my health. Like everything's fine. And then when my husband, so then I kind of tend to not care for myself. And then the other part that happens is then when we are having a hard time in our marriage, then because I haven't been filling up my love tank, be it in the meantime, then when we are fighting, I already feel depleted. And so then when we are fighting and things are hitting the fan, then I feel especially depleted, especially deflated, alone. I feel angry. I feel resentful. I have all these really intense feelings. And then again, because of the timeline of my parents' death with the way that the financial infidelity was revealed and came to light, like it'd been going on for years, but I became aware of it very shortly after my parents died. That always triggers some sort of grief around the death of my parents. And so what I have realized this kind of time around with the marriage struggles when things have come out again, like that I made a choice. I had a very clear conscious thought that I'm going to show up for myself no matter what. And so this was not anything big. I really strive to get 8 glasses of water in a day. Like when my husband and I are fighting, I tend to not want to eat very much because my stomach is so upset. Like I just have such anxiety. It's so much stress that nothing sounds good. I don't want to eat anything. And so I don't tend to overeat until we start to mend things and things are getting better. Then I have a tendency to just overeat everything. And so I'm aware of this. I'm very conscious of this. So this time I was like, no, I can show up for myself no matter what he chooses, no matter how he's showing up for me. So again, it just was taking time to read, taking time outside every day, making sure I got some sort of movement. And again, it was not very much. I went for like a short walk on our road, or I recently got a bike for the summer, so I went on a few bike rides. It was maybe like a 5-minute bike ride. We live on gravel, and so they recently like maintained it and like moved all the gravel around again. So it was really loose gravel. So I didn't go very far. And but it just made me feel good, right? Like it gave me some endorphins. It gave me a little dopamine hit. And so just doing that, and then of course trying to get my water in. And I do have to say I am not good about going to bed when my husband and I are fighting because I can't get my brain to shut off, or I haven't been able to find a way that's really good to get it to shut off until I read for a while in bed. So that helps me get a little sleepy. Sometimes I'll watch Facebook videos and just kind of like zone out. That will help me get sleepy, but I don't tend to get sleepy until like midnight, 1 a.m. And so I also know this. And so then I was nice to myself and I would make sure in my day I planned times for naps or extra rest time. And so just little things like that really helped me maintain my grief, right? Like it was still there, but I didn't fall into like the really acute depths of despair. And so I hope that this is helpful for you guys because it just was such a simple act of choosing my thought that I was moving forward with. Like I know that a lot of times when my husband like chooses to open new credit cards and then when I find out about it, like I know that he is hurt and I know that he is, for whatever reasons and whatever things for him, I know I try to have compassion for him because I also know that this is just his pattern is he tends to then lash out. Like he gets very defensive. He blames me for why he has to do that. Like, and I know that this is just part of the cycle. And my goal for myself as a wife is to find ways, again, no matter what he chooses, no matter if he chooses to go to support group meetings or go to a counselor or talk to a friend about it, like no matter what he chooses, or if he chooses to pout and not talk to me for 2 weeks. Like, no matter what he chooses, I strive to shorten the cycle, the cycle where we don't talk to each other, we're angry, we withhold the anger and that resentment. Like, I am really striving to shorten the cycle. And by doing that, I know that showing up for myself helps shorten that cycle. And I also know that then when I show up for myself, I have an easier time forgiving. I have an easier time showing up with love and compassion for him. Again, not justifying the behavior because it is wrong. It is wrong. It is wrong to lie to your wife and hide things. There is a betrayal there, there is a hurt there, but I don't need to hold on to that. I can feel that, but I don't need to hold on to that. And then my other little thing that I just kind of wanted to throw in here, this is kind of random, but again, it's just kind of the things that have been on my mind. So yesterday I ran into somebody and I know her from older par like our past parish. She was a parishioner there and I know her from being a nurse, like she worked at the ER and being the hospice nurse, like there was times we kind of worked together on different patients or whatever. So um I know her. I don't know her very well, but I know that her mom went to our parish now. And so I was like, oh, how you been? And like, how's your mom? Well, then she's like, my mom just died a couple days ago. So of course, like I felt awful. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And I gave her a hug and like, like I'm so sorry. Like that sucks. I like again, I'm just so sorry. And like she's like, yeah, like and she didn't say very much. And then I was kind of like, okay, well, I'll see you later. Like, so I just want to bring that to you guys, even with all the grief knowledge, experience, tools that I have, sometimes it just kind of like comes out of nowhere. And there are times where like it just feels very unexpected. Like I was not expecting her to say that. Um, Maybe I should have been, I don't know, but like I wasn't expecting her to say that. And so it just really caught me off guard. And that's okay. So that was kind of also what I wanted to put on here is like nobody knows the perfect words to say or to how to handle a situation like that when you like kind of put your foot in your mouth like I did. So I was like, oops. Um, but again, I'm not gonna dwell on it because I had no way of knowing that her mom died. I had no way of knowing. And so I do think that just maybe having compassion for yourself, right? If you're the person who kind of put your foot in your mouth like I did, and just having compassion, be like, yeah, there was no way for me to know that. Like, there was no way. Like, and I extended my condolences, right? I gave her a hug, um, and I hopefully showed up for her a little bit. Now, also, if you are the person who somebody says something like that to you, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like that was awful. Like, again, try to have compassion, like just to be like, people just don't know, right? Like it might be newer, or some people don't see everything that comes on Facebook, right? Like, so maybe you posted the obituary and in your mind you think everybody knows, everybody's aware of this. But people just miss things, right? Like life happens, people are busy, and so they probably didn't hear the news. And so again, I think too, like if you can tell when people are just kind of being nosy and like digging for information versus like, oh my gosh, like I'm so sorry, like I didn't know. And so again, that's kind of been my my theme for the past couple of weeks for myself and for others. It's just compassion, a lot of compassion. Because we can tend to compare and get jealous and think, well, they should have done this. But instead, I've been really trying to put myself in a more compassionate space. And again, if somebody really does something wrong and truly like you can be firm, then that was wrong, but I can still forgive and have compassion. And so that is just where I've been at the last couple weeks. So yeah, just to let you guys know where I am in my journey. And also starting June 6th, I'm starting again another grief group. And so if you're interested in that, if you are a Catholic who is really grieving and it's hard for you to find a space where you feel safe in your faith and also safe to share, to not share, but you also don't want to feel alone, then I invite you to go and check out CatholicGriefCoach.com. And I have the information for the next grief group that will be starting. Again, it's June 6th. It's every Friday in June at noon Central. So whatever time zone you're in. And then I think I'll record the sessions and then I'll put them out too because I know that people are busy, especially in the summer. Like a lot of things come up, or if it's just a nice day out and get in your garden, like you forget. So I will record those and then just share them. And so again, it's just a time to come together and just feel so lovingly held and held in your grief and held where you're at in your grief because we're all in different stages. And grief really does ebb and flow and it never goes away, right? Like it's never going to truly away. I'm always going to grieve for my parents until the day I die. And so it never goes away, but I invite you to a place where you can feel supported and loved through that. So CatholicGriefCoach.com. And I am praying for you guys, and I hope you have the best possible day that you can. God bless.